Hello, friends and family. It's day 102, cycle 5, day 17. I'm Jen, and today and every day we talk about my quest to crush aggressive diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, DLBCL, stage 4. We're using the R-EPOCH immunotherapy chemotherapy to crush non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Thank you so much for joining me on the journey today. Let's get into it. Daily thought. I do not have a quote for you. What I do have is a little bit of education about the organ donation and transplant process, as I promised. This was going to be the weekend. Okay, so first things I'll tell you is about the wait list. I mentioned a little bit yesterday. So at the time that Bill was listed, there were 4 statuses, 1A, 1B, 2, and 7. And today, and actually in October of 2018, so about 6 months after he transplanted, that changed to 7 statuses, and with much more stringent requirements. And in October, they also changed the allocation process. So it used to be that, for example, if a deceased donor occurred in your state, then all the 1A waitlisted folks in your state, they would check for match. And if there was no matches, they check 1B. And if there was no matches, they check 2. And if nobody matched, then they would go farther afield to the next set of states. And then if they didn't match there, they would keep going right out and out. Now the allocation is from the deceased donor, 500 square miles. No, I'm sorry, 500 mile radius, not square miles. 500 mile radius from the deceased donor. And they just go down the line. If there's any ones in the 500 mile radius, they get first shot. Any 2s, 3s, and so forth. Now, I don't know, because this was after our participation, if there's multiple matches at a certain level, is proximity play any factor? I don't know the answer to that question. So how do you match? So interestingly enough, it is blood type, but it does not include the Rh factor. So if you're I'm O positive, for example, I could take an O positive or an O negative organ. And if you're A negative, you could take an A organ or an O organ. Everybody can take an O organ. So O is the hardest, obviously. And then and an AB could take an A or a B, I believe, is my recollection. And the plus and minus doesn't have any factor. Another consideration is size. So the size of the recipient and the size of the donor. And generally the window has to be less than 6 inches, I believe, in height. And I'm not sure on the weight side. And the reason for that is twofold. When you take out the organ, wherever it is, in our case it was a heart, there's an empty cavity in your body for a heart. And if I get it from somebody that's significantly smaller, there's going to be a lot of space around that. And if somebody that's significantly larger, it's not going to fit, right? And then additionally, especially in the case of a heart is a pumping machine. And if you get a heart from somebody that's not within that 6-inch window, and I think it was 3 plus or minus 3, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, don't quote me there. If somebody knows and wants to comment below, please do so. I don't want to give any misinformation. Because the heart is a pumping machine, and if I put a machine in there that's either used to pumping for a much larger vessel, would be too much pumping, or pumping for a smaller person, it's not strong enough to push the blood, oxygen, and everything else through the full body if the person is significantly smaller than the recipient. So the size, believe it or not, makes bigger difference than you would expect. And there are other considerations. When Bill listed, and then regularly thereafter, he had to send in a blood sample to the UNOS, and it's the registry, and then there was other considerations in your blood and what do you call it? Like your immune system. Like they want to make sure that your body will not reject the other organ, even though the blood type matches. There's other items, other factors to consider. And actually, when they're drilling down to figure out if an organ matches, they do virtual as well as physical blood testing between the donor and the recipient to, as much as possible, make sure that there's no chance for rejection. So that's what I can tell you about 500 mile radius. Okay, good. All right. So how am I? Whew, I am okay. Today was a fairly good day physically for me, mentally, and all those other lovely things. Of course, it was a celebration day to some extent, and a grateful day for the gift that we received. But I did have a lazy day. I slept in, and I spent a good portion of my day in bed. So the problem I've been having all week with just not having enough energy and stamina and just hard for me to judge if that's still going on because I was so lazy today. I can't tell. So we will find out tomorrow when I go back to work if I'm still having that level of issue or not. But overall, it was a good day and no complaints. All right, so let's move on to angel delivery. So at the time that Bill transplanted, we knew one thing about his donor. Now, we suspected, based on Bill's size, that he's about 5'11", and he was fairly good sized, that it would have to be a male donor. That was our assumption based on those other factors. But I guess you could have a very tall, large-ish woman that would have been able to donate. But we assumed that it would be a male donor. And what we found out, we knew only one thing, was that it was a 24-year-old male. Which, of course, I knew. Phil did not know for several days after that. He had some issues and such. He didn't know. But when he did know, then there's some heartbreak there, right? Our boys at that time were 18 and 21-ish, I think. Almost 21. So 24 was really not that far off from, and my niece and nephew were in that age range, and it was quite heartbreaking from that perspective that there was parents out there, probably our age, that had lost their child. And we were so sad for them and so grateful that they made the choice to donate, or that he made the choice, as an adult. We didn't know the details at all. So we came to find out subsequently that his donor's name was Alex. And so today the angel delivery is Alex, quite literally. He provided a heart and a kidney for Bill that allows him to be with us till today. And I'm very incredibly grateful for that. It was a beautiful, beautiful gift he gave us. Okay, sorry. All right, let me keep going here. Sorry. So we had an opportunity in, I think it was November of 2019, to meet Alex's parents and several of his family and friends, and they gave us an opportunity to really get to know what a lovely young man he was. And we also came to find out that that they had many of his organs donated, and I think I kind of alluded to that yesterday. He saved a lot of lives: lungs and kidneys and liver and eyes and corneas and skin, all kinds of stuff he did. It was quite miraculous. So I'll include some pictures here for you for you to see of our meeting. And these first, maybe I'll just try to narrate a little bit, give you a little slideshow. The first set of pictures were when we first came in the room and met them. It was incredibly emotional. And then we sat down and we got to hear the story, hear about his life. They shared picture books with us, and everyone in the room had a personal story to share with us. And then here's some pictures. His parents, I'll just share the parents' ones. There's more than this. Nearly everyone in the room did it. They had a stethoscope and everyone got to hear his heart beating. But here's his mom and dad listening. And then there were some group pictures as well, so you can get a sense of all the people that came. Now, it happened, I think it was the weekend before Thanksgiving, if I recall. So the boys were at college, and it just didn't make sense to bring them home a week early, before Thanksgiving, and we couldn't delay. So we made the decision to go ourselves. We knew it was going to be very emotional. Plus, we wanted the focus to be on Alex and his family, not on our family. And so we made the decision to just go without the boys. Now, our intention was to invite them subsequently, his parents and anyone else they wanted to we have like monthly family days. So we were going to wait till after the holidays into the winter, because we still gather monthly, and invite them to come meet our family and see, all the people that were impacted by their generous gift. That would have missed their Uncle Bill or their son or their uncle, aunts and uncle, nephew, etc. Like to meet that, son-in-law, etc. Brother-in-law, whoever, brother, etc. So they could see all the people that were directly impacted by their gift. So that was our plan. And then COVID came and shut down the world. And we're still pretty much shut down. I know things are starting to open up, but as I've already discussed here, in my family, we're pretty tight. We're not out there. And, now I have lymphoma and, we have not yet vaccinated ourselves. And even after the vaccination, we're still a little leery about all that. So we're still working slowly into it. And maybe this summer there'll be an opportunity from the perspective of, we could do something outdoors that would be safe and so forth, but we'll see. In any case, that was a long story, but I want to go back to our angel delivery for certain is Alex on this fine day when he generously gave us opportunity to continue the life that we have. So thank you so much to Alex. Okay, let's keep going. If anybody has any questions or would like me to elaborate on anything, please don't hesitate to ask. All right. And if I've misrepresented anything, please also correct me. I don't mind being corrected at all. I'm not perfect. All right, doctor news. I heard from Nurse Lana. She's going to come tomorrow to change my dressing. And that's all I have there. Let's get into my to-do list today. Despite having slept a good portion of the day, I did accomplish some stuff. So number 1 was rest, and I did that. Check. Hydrate. I've done that. I think I'm at about 60 ounces, so I have a little more to go. I did schedule my text to the doctor, so I've already typed it and set it to go tomorrow morning. Saying the last time we spoke, you said we could delay a week. I want to delay. We'll see what happens with that. I baked a cake for Bill's birthday. It's his 3rd heart birthday. I straightened the kitchen from yesterday's Seder. So last night, I think I alluded to how exhausted I was. So I did put all the food away, but I hadn't, dishes were still out and Instapot needed to be cleaned and put away and all that kind of stuff. So I did that. I loaded and ran the dishwasher. I'll mention that I have a designated emptier. I don't empty the dishwasher, but I load and run it. So somebody else emptied from yesterday, and I loaded and ran it again today, so we're going to have to empty it again. I did manage to do some charity miles walking today. I think while I was cleaning, I turned it on, right? And I had to type into my log my old video notes. So I do notes every day to talk to you guys to make sure I don't forget anything. And I think I have like several days, and I ran out of note spots, so I had to record them so I could erase the old ones. So that was a seated activity. Don't worry. So like I said, I did rest quite a bit today. All right. So my to-do must do for tomorrow. I must work. I must hydrate. I must order dialysis supplies, and I must do my dressing change. My to-do would love to do for tomorrow is clean some more and crochet. So those are the things on my list for my to-do would love to do. So if you're just here for, let me add one more thing. I almost did it. My charity miles. So the charity miles team, great job. We have 18 members on our team, and collectively we have moved 1,129 miles. If you'd like to join our team, here's the information right here, and there's also a link below. You are welcome to join us. Thank you so much. All right, so if you're just here for story time, thank you so much for joining, and let's get into a lightning round of daily symptoms and statistics. Nausea, no. Mouth pain, no. Teeth pain, no. Throat pain, no. Weight actually came down to X5.7. I don't know what I did different, although I didn't drink a lot. You can see that here. I had 72 ounces in, which is 2.4 liters, and 2.6 liters out. Excuse me. I slept for 7 hours and 42 minutes. Plus, I just laid around like a lazy girl. My movement was up at 9,900 steps. My vitals were fine. Neuropathy, a bit. Hair loss, status quo. Skin, status quo. Nose clots, no. That's down. Night sweats a bit. Headache, no. Fatigue, no. I'm going to say no today. I don't know if it's because I laid around all day, maybe. Red skin, no. And chemo brain, no. So that is all the news that's fit to print here. Thank you so much for joining me today and every day. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow. Love you. Remember, every day is a gift. Live it.